discuss what's behind the potential move, we welcome in Rishi Bharwani to Morning Rush. He is the Director and Partnerships and Policy at Accountable Tech. Good to see you again, man. So it seems obvious on its face, right? Like there's all this bad press going on, congressional hearings, they're comparing Facebook to big tobacco. Let's have a shiny object and change the name. Is that what's behind it, or what do you think?
Yeah, they're not pulling one past you. I mean, this is sleight of hand, and it's what damage control looks like. And you mentioned big tobacco as an analog. It's exactly what Philip Morris did in 2003. They changed their name. Over the course of the past 10 years, we've seen a number of big oil companies change their name. And so this is the sign of a company that's under pressure, but it also speaks volumes about where their values are and what their morals are. Because if this is a company that cared about all of the press and all of the news and all of the attention that they're getting from regulators, they'd focus on fixing the actual problems. You know, it's still been 2 years since they had internal research showing how harmful their product is to teens and kids' mental health. It's been 3 years since the UN found they played a, quote, determining role in the Rohingya genocide. It's been the better part of a year since they helped facilitate an insurrection on the United States Capitol. And instead of focusing on those real issues, instead of focusing on trying to solve those problems, they're trying to change their name. And that just shows what and who they are. They're more interested in PR stunts. They're more interested in trying to get a good press cycle than they are actually trying to fix the real problems. And we're not gonna fall for it.
Definitely. It's almost like Twitter and the edit button. Everyone's like, hey, I don't care about the other updates. Like, just give me an edit button. Let's fix the real problems here. Yeah. So the new name is expected to focus on what's called the Metaverse. Can you explain to our viewers what that is? Because I definitely had to look it up.
Yeah, I'm not sure anybody can appropriately name or describe what the metaverse is. This feels like more of a thing in an eccentric billionaire's imagination. But I'll tell you what we can expect, because Facebook has shown us time and time again who they are, and we should believe them. And so whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, these are platforms that are designed to extract our personal data, that use dark patterns to addict us and keep us doom scrolling on their platforms, all for the purpose of selling advertisements. It's again why people say that the folks using the platforms, you and I who use Instagram and Facebook, we're the product. We're not the users. It's us who are supplying the personal information that Facebook then sells to advertisers. That's how they make 99% of their data. And so this metaverse, whatever he wants to call it, if it's Oculus or VR, we should expect more of the same. These are deceiving, manipulative tools under the guise of fancy new technology that are designed to addict us, extract our personal data, and make Mark Zuckerberg an extra dollar. And he doesn't care what kind of harms those drive. Again, if it's undermining democracy, if it's spreading COVID mis and disinformation, those are not things that he's worried about.
Rishi,
these are more ways to gain our attention and get him an extra buck.
Rishi, if you could though, give us the honest layman's on what he is talking about, because he is talking about virtual reality, right?
He's talking about virtual reality. He's talking about Oculus. He's thinking about what the next generation of tech might be. But I'll tell you what it sounds like to me. This is a person who's built an empire on the attention economy. And we are suddenly out of attention. How much more time could we spend on our smartphones, on our computers? And so he's now taking what has been a very lucrative business model around the attention economy, and he's turning it into the surveillance economy. He's thinking about more ways to extract our personal data without our attention, because we're maxed out. And again, that's the product that he's selling. That's the product that Facebook is selling to advertisers. It's our personal data. And so we're almost maxed out. Even when I'm not actively on my phone, I'm using Google Maps, I'm listening to Spotify, I'm listening to Audible, and now he's thinking about new ways, new tools to extract our personal data. And that's really what this is about.
But, you know, I mean, Facebook isn't necessarily reinventing the wheel here, right? There are other social media sites that do this too in some capacity, right?
There are other social media sites that are built on the idea of extraction of personal data and selling that personal data. Very few have had the societal harms and world effects that Facebook has had. We don't see other platforms causing genocides. We don't see other platforms spreading COVID mis and disinformation at scale that Facebook is. And so Facebook is a unique actor here, and that's why regulators are focusing on them. This coming Tuesday, there will be another hearing before the Senate Commerce Committee that focuses on TikTok and YouTube and how those platforms affect kids. But we should be clear that this is not necessarily a social media problem writ large. This is a Facebook problem, and their own internal research demonstrated that. It demonstrated that Instagram is uniquely harmful for teens' mental health, more so than other platforms, because it focuses on lifestyle, it focuses on body image far more than, say, TikTok or YouTube or Snapchat.
But Rishi, how exciting is the potential of, all those things aside, how exciting is the potential of virtual reality and this metaverse? Because it sounds, the more I read about it on the tech websites, it sounds like a thrilling and exciting future.
It should, because, again, this is coming from an extremely highly paid PR team that Facebook's relied upon to take bad press cycles and turn them into good press cycles. And so, of course, they're going to spin this optimistic version of what the future of Facebook could be, what the metaverse could be. But let's remember what happened last time. We don't need to speculate. Facebook was this platform that was supposed to bring us together, connect us. But here we are, addicted to this platform, and we feel more lonely than ever. We have rates of depression and anxiety that are higher than they ever were before. This is a platform that was meant to support small businesses, and they're doing the opposite. They extract and exploit resources from small businesses every single step of the way. So yes, they are selling this rosy vision, and I bet it sounds awesome, but we should believe people who they are. When they show us who they are, we should believe them. And Facebook has shown us time and time again who and what they are and what their interest is, and it's making an extra dollar despite the societal harms. We shouldn't fall for it.
I think the strange thing is you've got one of the 5 most recognizable brands on the planet. That kind of brand equity, you can't buy that kind of brand equity. They have it. Most companies would kill for it. And here's what Facebook says: the metaverse is the next evolution of social technology. We're creating 10,000 new jobs across the EU to help build it. Rishi Bharwani, we appreciate you coming on again. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.